Hi everybody, welcome back to the Overwatch channel on YouTube. Today I want to talk to you about atheists and the near-death experience. And this is from our website, near-death.com. They have a lot of research information on here. In particular, I wanted to see if I was looking for evidence to see if what I'd seen in a lot of interviews with these near-death experiencers, if there was any confirmation of what I was looking at. It seemed to me, whether you're an atheist or a religious person, it was that person's um, heart, if you will, or it was their anger or negativity and meanness that led them into like a hellish NDE. And it didn't seem to matter. Um, it, it seemed to be part of like the person's, it had nothing to do with works. I think Christianity has that correct. It's not about works. It is all about loving other people, um, being kind, being genuinely nice to people. And if you take a look at part of this article here, this is focused on atheist NDEs, but you'll see that in my research that I've been doing, doesn't seem to matter if you're negative and angry and mean and greedy and selfish, you will have probably an unpleasant experience if you happen to be in a near-death state. But it appears that disavowing the reality or possibility of the existence of a higher power may contribute to the of a less than positive experience in atheists or agnostics prior to the experience. Religious orientation was not a factor affecting either the likelihood or the depth of the near-death experience. An atheist was as likely to have one as a devoutly religious person, regardless of their prior attitudes, whether skeptical or deeply religious, and regardless of the many variations in religious beliefs and degrees of skepticism, from tolerant disbelief to outspoken atheism. Most of these people were convinced that they had been in the presence of some supreme and loving power and had a glimpse of a life yet to come. Although all who experienced an NDE found their lives transformed and changed in their attitudes and values and in their inclination to love and help others. That's another interesting thing, because it's sort of like when you come back, it's sort of like this thing a lot of these NDEers will tell you is that it's not about religion, it's about love, but yet they change their lives. Like, things do matter even more, even though they don't have to follow any particular doctrine. It does become about helping others and being kind and genuinely feeling that connection to everyone else and to God. Now, some atheists have changed, not because of their own personal NDEs. There's an atheist case, a few of them were atheists working with children who've had NDEs, realized that there was something going on they couldn't explain. There's this one case here from Dr. Diane Comp. But Dr. Moody concluded that the identity of the being of light is based on the experiencer's religious background. Now, I think people, there's this thing in debates about, well, which religion is true and all this other stuff that people are missing. That all paths can't lead to the same source, and if you're looking for one true religion on earth, then which one is it? They can't all be true. And my newest conclusion is that's true. They can't all be true, but they can all be false or partially false. So they can all have errors in what they believe, and they can all have some truth in there. they don't need to all be 100% true or false, because none of them apparently are, because the evidence suggests that they are not. But Dr. Moody says, of all the possible near-death elements, the light exerted the greatest influence on the individual. Patients interpreted the light as a being that radiated love and warmth. Christians recognized the light as Christ. Atheists identified the spirit only as a guide. That's from his book, The Light Beyond, page 22. This is really interesting. Some near-death experiencers and their trip to the hellish side, let's say. Let us take as an example a person who is so sure there is no God and no hereafter that he treats others badly while on earth, and he feels no moral obligation to lend a helping hand or to be a decent citizen. When he makes the transition, he is angry and tempestuous. And I actually feel that that is key. You are negative, angry, evil person, and guess what happens? Anyway, as he finds himself in a situation of his own making, surrounded by other greedy souls who, because they are in like situation, welcome him gleefully to the hell that they have created for themselves, he is shocked. There are not the type of people that he wants to associate with. They are fiendish and ill-mannered, whereas he has been stiff-necked, educated, polished man, although he never gave a thought to anyone but himself. He tries to break out of the fiendish group, but they surround him. He calls for help, but no one with a better nature can enter the group to save him. He has dug his own grave, so to speak, and he is allowed to lie in it for a while. He is utterly miserable, for he now begins to see the folly of his ways, but does not know how to avert his fate. He is left there until his own remorse for his sinful ways begin to penetrate. He begins to and acknowledges to himself that he wasted a lifetime of rare privilege by thinking only of himself. In fact, if you look at Howard Storm's case, that's exactly what happened there. He was a really angry, bitter guy, and that's exactly what happened. He's not like that anymore. He doesn't want to go back to that place that he ended up at, that's for sure. So after this person reaches full repentance, he is then able to free himself of the unrepentant creatures around him. And for a long time thereafter, he searches his own soul to review his past mistakes. This is sometimes a long, drawn-out process because he will have to make his way alone. Only he is able to assess his wrongs and seek forgiveness, although there are many here willing to lend a hand whenever he reaches out for them. Concerning this example of an atheist's unpleasant NDE, it must be qualified by stating that that is not all atheists have unpleasant NDEs. And that's key. Not all atheists have unpleasant NDEs, but there are some that do. Not all religious people have pleasant NDEs either, because they can be just as bitter and mean and nasty also. And none of the data, as I'm starting to piece this all together, it just seems to be none of the things we are told are totally correct. And you have to look at all the data and be genuinely skeptical of certain things, even if you have your own religious beliefs. Being genuinely skeptical is not being pseudo-skeptical. You're not looking to disprove something no matter what. You are looking to just find the truth, and you need some kind of logical evidence to piece the truth together. And There's a lot of information. I'll post this article so you can read the whole thing. It's interesting. The website is pretty interesting also. And I'm sure a lot of people have seen the Howard Storm videos if you're watching my channel, but I'll post a link to this also. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.